You want us to be sincere? I'm being sincere. This is going to ruin my life.
Luis Alvarez works as a motorman on the Ocean Monarch, a deepwater oil rig in the Gulf of Mexico. He's been working offshore for 21 years and worries that the government's response to the oil spill in the Gulf will cost him his career.
We just want the rest of America to actually see the real people you're hurting that's got families, not to shut down the whole oil field because of one company's mistake.
Here in the Gulf region, the oil industry is one of the last vestiges of the blue-collar American dream, where people without advanced degrees can still make a good living doing manual labor.
We will continue the existing moratorium and suspend the issuance of new permits to drill new deepwater wells for 6 months.
In the wake of the Deepwater Horizon disaster, President Obama halted deepwater drilling to allow time for an investigation and to make sure that it never happens again. On the Monarch, one of the 33 rigs shut down by the ban, Alvarez said rig workers were concerned about the oil leak and its devastating impact on fishermen.
And we're going to get it cleaned up. It's a tragic disaster, but they're not the only ones suffering.
The workers also pointed to the rig's drilling hole, where they were running pipes to a new well just 2 weeks ago. Now, it's just an empty hole.
Ocean Monarch Control Diamond 71 is 20 minutes out in the blind.
The Times was flown out to the Ocean Monarch on Tuesday by Diamond Offshore Drilling, the company that owns this $300 million deepwater rig, currently sitting idle in shallow waters. What we found was a company on the brink of abandoning the Gulf. If others follow suit, the industry could take thousands of jobs overseas. That leaves workers here frustrated and scared.
I have a kid starting college this year, and it's a shame that I had to tell my 18-year-old son that he might have to help Daddy buy groceries.
Most of the nearly 40 contract workers who round out the Monarch's crew have already been sent home.
Normally it's probably over about 500 pallets in here stacked 2 to 3 high.
How many jobs does this room represent?
Yeah, probably four jobs.
Of ours, but then all the manufacturers and the handlers of the material all the way back to the mine site or whatever, there's probably, I bet there's 15 to 20 jobs.
At shift change, Diamond Offshore Chief Executive Larry Dickerson met with some of his employees.
The money's not coming in the door, and it's awfully tempting if we can find a job for one of these things.
Dickerson says he'll be forced to look for contracts overseas in places like Brazil and West Africa to keep his rigs working. If that happens, lower-level workers will likely be laid off, and the rig probably won't return to the Gulf for 3 years or more. If this process is repeated on rigs across the Gulf, workers fear employment options here will dry up.
We're going to see whatever it is that we can do. I'm just afraid, and I'm trying to be honest with you, that it's going to involve rigs going overseas.
The Times sat down with some of the guys most at risk.
That's all you know is out here.
Yeah.
Like, 14 years. I come pretty well from school, basic training, National Guard, to here. I've been here ever since. That's all we know.
You're just in such turmoil. You don't know what you're going to do for your family.
Is your wife working?
Taking care of the 3 kids.
Have you talked to her about it?
Yeah. She's looking for a job right now.
I'm gonna find work somewhere, whether it's flipping burgers, whether it's digging the ditch. I mean, whatever I got to do for my family, I got to do it.
Rusty and Athena Brown's son, Bennett, was born with club feet. Because of Rusty's job at Diamond Offshore, Bennett was able to get the care that he needed.
I mean, and doctor bills was coming in every day, wanting that money, but if we wouldn't have had that insurance, we had such a good insurance through his work, we wouldn't have been able to afford them. I don't know what we had done.
Back on the rig, everyone anxiously hopes the drilling moratorium won't last as long as expected. They also feel frustrated at what they perceive as the willful ignorance of many Americans about the role oil plays in everyday life.
You know, you hear a lot of people saying that oil is ruining this and ruining that. We want to go green. Well, I don't see them riding horse and buggies.
I mean, it's clear that, we pollute when we use oil. And I know these greener energies, they're great. The only problem I see with it is, whether it be wind, geothermal, or whatever, I don't think have the technology yet for it to be a viable source of energy. I really think oil still has, for at least the next 50 years, a big part in our country.
Yeah.